The air was still on the Galactic Council's execution platform, but the atmosphere crackled with tension. Millions of alien spectators watched through holographic broadcasts, their eyes locked on the lone human standing at the gallows. Ambassador Thane Corvus didn't look afraid. In fact, he looked amused. A smirk played on his lips as the High Arbiter read the charges. For crimes against intergalactic stability, reckless expansion, and defiance of Council authority, Earth is found guilty. The sentence is death. Thane exhaled through his nose, shaking his head. For fuck's sake. You people really don't get it, do you? The Arbiter's tendrils curled in irritation. Human. Do you have any last words? Yeah. First off, hanging? Little old-fashioned, don't you think? You guys got plasma lances, but no lethal injection. He rolled his shoulders. Second, when this broadcast reaches Earth, you're screwed. The Arbiter waved a hand, and the executioner pulled the lever. The platform dropped. Earth. Silence filled the War Council's chamber as the broadcast ended. President Orion Voss leaned back in his chair, hands steepled, jaw tight. His advisors whispered, analysts rattling off diplomatic responses, but he already knew. There would be no negotiations. No peace talks. General Marcus Dragan broke the silence. They really did it. His voice was eerily calm. They think they just executed one man. Voss looked at him. They did a hell of a lot more than that. They declared war on the wrong species. Dragan stood, cracking his knuckles. And we're about to teach them why. The war declaration was immediate. Earth's response wasn't anger, it was cold fury. The kind that sharpened knives instead of shaking fists. Mobilize the fleet, Dragan ordered. We're taking this all the way. The first wave hit Vornax 5, a council-controlled colony. The aliens had expected protests, sanctions, maybe even a token military action. Instead, they got shock troopers in exorigs, orbital bombardments turning military installations into glass, and a human fleet punching through their defenses like wet paper. The alien garrison sent a frantic distress call, * they fight like monsters. They don't retreat, they don't even hesitate. *. One Marine, dragging a wounded enemy by the scruff of his armor, smirked at the comms feed. Buddy, we're just getting started. The council scrambled. This isn't war, a panicked ambassador whispered in a crisis meeting. This is annihilation. On the front lines, Captain Elias Drake led his squad through the shattered remains of a council base. Bodies lay in heaps. Drake tapped his helmet. Command, this was too easy. They weren't ready, a voice replied. That's the thing. Drake crouched, running a finger over a console still warm from use. They knew we were coming. So why weren't they ready? No one had time to answer. The next phase of the war had already begun. And humanity? Humanity wasn't here for revenge. They were here for the truth. General Seriev Vex watched the war unfold from the Council's war chamber, her claws digging into the stone table. Reports flooded in, burning colonies, orbital strikes, entire Council fleets shredded like they were made of paper. The humans weren't just winning, they were dominating. Her fellow generals shouted over each other, voices filled with panic. They fight without hesitation. They don't take prisoners. They're laughing while they kill us. Saria stayed silent. She wasn't like them, she had studied humans, understood how they thought. The Council had made a fatal mistake. We provoked them, she said at last. We pushed them into a war they never wanted. The others scoffed, but she had seen the classified files. The execution of Thane Corvus wasn't justice. It was a setup, ***. The Council feared Earth, not for what they had done, but for what they could become. The humans were evolving faster than any species in history. They hadn't declared war out of bloodlust. They declared war because they had to know the truth. And that truth? The Council had planned to cripple Earth before it was too late. She activated her private console, fingers trembling. The files were there, ***, projections of human technological growth, ***, warnings from intelligence officers, secret military plans detailing an inevitable human galactic takeover within the next century. The Council had decided to preemptively strike before Earth became too powerful to contain. So they framed them. Fabricated crimes. Staged evidence. And when Ambassador Corvus had uncovered it, ***, they executed him before he could speak, ***. Saria exhaled. The war wasn't just unjust. It was a crime. The chamber doors burst open. A fleet officer ran in, breathless. The humans have taken Vornax 5. Saria barely reacted. Of course they had. They sent a message. That caught her attention. Play it. The holoscreen crackled, and General Marcus Dragon's face appeared. His expression was unreadable, but his voice was cold steel. You lied, he said simply. You killed Corvus to cover your own weakness. Saria felt the weight of those words. He knew. But here's the thing, Dragon continued. Humans? We don't fight for revenge. We fight for truth. He leaned closer, voice lowering. And we're going to drag the truth out of you, piece by piece. The feed cut out. The room was silent. Saria made her choice. She was done following orders. If the Council had started this war to stop humanity's rise, they had failed spectacularly. And now? Now, she was going to help end it. Jonas Valk wasn't superstitious. He didn't believe in destiny, prophecy, or any of the bullshit the Council's scholars love to spout about fate. He was a soldier. He believed in bullets, steel, and getting the job done. But after the Battle of Kara's Rift, something changed. The humans had stormed the Council's orbital defenses, wiping out resistance in under an hour. Jonas had led the charge, plasma rifle in hand, his squad cutting through alien forces like a blade through cloth. He remembered the heat, the smoke, the scent of burnt ozone. And then, pain. A concussive blast sent him sprawling, his helmet cracked, his armor fried. He should have blacked out. Should have died. Instead, he saw. Not the battlefield. Not his fallen squadmates. He saw the future. Flashes of fire and ruin. The war ending, but at a cost so steep it turned his stomach. Earth victorious, but broken. Billions dead. Entire planets erased. And beyond that, ***, something worse, ***. A shadow. Moving between the stars, devouring everything in its path. The war with the Council wasn't the real fight. The real enemy was still coming. Jonas gasped, his vision snapping back to the present. He was on a Council dreadnought now, blood trickling down his forehead. His comlink crackled, Dragon's voice. Valk, report. You still breathing? Jonas wiped his face, trying to steady his pulse. He should tell them. Should warn them. But how the hell did you explain something like this? I'm here, he muttered. Listen, there's something you need to know. Dragon exhaled. You can brief me later. Right now, we've got a bigger problem. The Council's leadership is fracturing. They're running scared, but not from us. Jonas clenched his jaw. He already knew. They're afraid of what's coming next, he said. A pause. Dragon's voice dropped lower. You saw it too, didn't you? Jonas's blood ran cold. This wasn't just a hallucination. It was a warning. The devouring horde was real. And only humans had the will to stop it. General Marcus Dragon stood on the bridge of the Iron Fist, staring at the battlefield beyond the viewport. The Council fleets were in full retreat, their warships burning, their defenses shattered. Humanity had won. But it didn't feel like victory. Saria Vex stood beside him, her hands clenched. She had risked everything defecting to Earth, and now she looked at him with something dangerously close to desperation. "You have to listen," she said. "You think you've won, but the real war hasn't even begun." Dragan exhaled, rubbing his temples. He already knew. Jonas Vok had confirmed it. The devouring horde was coming. This entire war, the executions, the fabricated crimes, the Council's aggression, it had all been a stalling tactic. The aliens hadn't been afraid of Earth. They had been afraid of what was lurking just beyond known space. And now? Now, there was no stopping it. A warning siren blared. Dragan turned to the tactical display, jaw tightening. Something was coming. A rip in space, blacker than the void itself. A tear in reality. The first wave of the horde. "Jesus Christ," a bridge officer whispered. "What the hell is that?" Saria's voice was grim. "Our extinction." Jonas Vok entered the bridge, his face pale. "We don't have a choice." Dragan knew. Humanity had fought this war for justice, for vengeance, for the truth. Now, they had to fight for survival. He activated the fleet-wide comms. His voice was steady, sharp as a blade. "All units, listen up. This war isn't over." The crew held their breath. Dragan turned to Saria. She gave him a slow nod. "New orders," Dragan continued. "We stop running. We stop reacting. The horde wants a fight." His hands clenched into fists. "Then let's show them why the galaxy fears us." Across the fleet, humanity's forces braced for the final war. The one only they could win.